I snuck in behind you. You're good.
You picked the best looking one, so I know.
Been meaning to call and give you a heads up. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the National Baseball Hall of Fame. My name is Josh Rawich. I'm the president of this unbelievable institution. And on behalf of our board of directors, our chairman of the board, Jane Forbes Clark, everybody who works here at the hall, just a very big welcome to everybody who made the trip in. I know many of you are local, many of you are coming from little bits of distances, but it's an honor to have everybody here at the National Baseball Hall of Fame. I think if anybody knows Cooperstown, you know we're known as America's most perfect village, and it's where many of us here call home. But we're just very grateful that you've made the trip over here. For those of you that have not actually been to the Hall of Fame, can I get a quick, how many people have never been here before? So we absolutely implore you to spend a little bit of time after we finish to go walk around and see what all that we have to offer. It really is an unbelievable institution. I'll spare you all the details of what's within these walls, but whether you've been here before and are coming back, or this is your first time, we hope that you'll get a chance to spend some time here. We've got a lot of very, very distinguished guests with us today, and so I'd like to just introduce our first, who's going to kind of kick us off. From our standpoint, it's very important, as you know, tourism in our town is pretty significant, and we're very, very lucky to have somebody who not only represents our area, but another one of the great tourism gems of upstate New York, Howe Caverns. So I'd like to introduce our Assemblyman Chris Tague to come up and introduce some of our guests.
Well, good morning. I'm Assemblyman Chris Tague, and I approve this message. First of all, I just want to say hello and welcome to one of the greatest facilities in the world, the National Baseball Hall of Fame. And I want to thank the folks from the National Baseball Hall of Fame for what you do for our area and our community. I'm overjoyed to be here at the Baseball Hall of Fame this morning with all my partners from government. While I'll let others get into the details of today's great news, I have the distinct honor of introducing a very important figure today. As the representative for Cooperstown and communities throughout the greater Mohawk Valley, it is my pleasure and privilege to welcome my colleague, former colleague, and our 68th Secretary of the State to our community today. As a former state legislator, Robert J. Rodriguez understands how critical infrastructure and Main Street funding projects are to communities like ours. He has been focused on making strategic investments across our state, and we are thrilled to have him here today as our partner in revitalizing our local economy. Everyone in Cooperstown and the greater community understands how essential state investments like these can be. Revitalization means jobs, and jobs mean increased tourism, a sustainable economy for everyone. It increases our tax base, and helps our schools, our kids, and our hardworking families. The burden on our seniors also decreases. This is an investment that we wholeheartedly welcome, and on behalf of my constituents that I represent in the 102nd Assembly District, I would like to thank Secretary of State Robert J. Rodriguez for his investment and leadership. We need to clap. I also want to thank Governor Hochul and the executive branch. This wouldn't happen without her either. So I want to say thank you for taking the time and investment in our rural upstate communities. With that, I just want to say today is a very proud day for me and an honor. And I'm so excited. But you really didn't come here to listen to me. It did say on this thing, Chris tagged 20 minutes, but I think I'm going to hold back on that. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say that it is my honor and pleasure to introduce to you my former colleague and friend and the Secretary of the State of New York, Secretary Rodriguez.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here, and thank you to Assemblymember Tague for that warm welcome. I am a huge baseball fan, and I would be remiss if I didn't come to Cooperstown repping my colors. Go Yankees. I know it's a little bit early in the season. But I'd also like to thank our hosts, because really this truly is a world-class institution. So thank you all, and thank you, Josh Schwabitz, for hosting us today. But before we get started, I'd like to recognize a few individuals that are here with us. My colleagues in government, Senators Oberacker and Senators Walczyk and Griffo, who probably have representatives with us. Assemblymember Smullen, who is here, and Assemblymember Miller. Because while I do bring the good news, I could not do it without my partners in the legislature. And it's so important also to recognize that what we're here today, what we're here to announce is not just about state legislature, it's about the vision of a community. And that community vision doesn't happen on its own. It happens with, one, community members, but also local representatives and local governments. So I want to recognize some of the folks who may be here. Otsego County Chairman, County of Board of Representatives, Dave Bliss. The County Manager, Steve Wilson. Herkimer County Chairman, Vincent Bono. Herkimer County Administrator, James Wallace. Schoharie County Chairman and Board of Supervisors, William Federis. Oneida County Chairman of the Board of Legislators, Gerald Fiorini. Oneida County Executive, Anthony Picente. And of course, making sure that we move into our next group of mayors, who I think will be especially interested in the announcements that we have today. We have our local leaders, Ellen Tillepaw, the mayor of Cooperstown. Thank you. And it's great to be back here in Cooperstown. I raised my hand when it was the first time being in the hall, but it wasn't my first time here in Cooperstown. We know how beautiful it is. Mayor Tantillo, Elizabeth Tantillo, the mayor of the village of Clinton. The supervisor of Kirkland, Robert Meelan. The mayor of the village of Sharon Springs, Douglas Plummer. And the mayor of Dolgeville, Mary Poznowski. Now we'll talk a little bit more about this process and how we got here, but part of that is relying on our regional economic development councils to help us understand the region's needs. And with that, I have to recognize Dr. Marian Terenzo, who is the co-chair of our Mohawk Valley RODC. So again, thank you all for being here. Generally, they say when the Secretary of State comes into town, it's because I bring good news from Governor Hochul. So we're excited. We're excited to see the opportunities of growth that continue in this region. And I was joking with Senator Oberacker. I was like, I just saw you in Gloversville not too long ago announcing the previous project. So we're glad to have you back. And we'll keep it coming. But over the past year, we've been traveling all over the state to see how investing in communities can positively impact a region and a neighborhood. And we recognize that the infrastructure, the housing, the culture, the parks, the open spaces, the waterfront access, the recreational opportunities, all of those positively impact a region and come together to help build that sense of community. And that's happening all across the state. And what we recognize is that when we're investing in our communities, we can positively change that community. And at the same moment, we can also recognize that when communities are overlooked and underinvested in, that they struggle. It seems a little bit obvious, but part of that means making sure that we step up to the plate when we can, pun intended, to make sure that we are investing in all of our communities. And that's why the governor has made it her mission since she was lieutenant governor to make sure that today and moving forward that we leave no communities behind. No New Yorker is left behind. No rural community feels like they're not part of the investments that are happening across New York State. It's not just about New York City, and I love New York City, Yankee fan, East Harlem bred. We love those projects. We recognize they're part of economic development across our state, but it's also about our smaller communities. And that's why today's announcement is so important. We're talking about two major economic development programs, our Downtown Revitalization Initiative and our brand new New York Forward program. So with that, I'm proud to announce the recipients for these two programs. So let's begin with our Downtown Revitalization Initiative. I'm happy to announce that the town of Kirkland and the village of Clinton together will receive $10 million in funding. They are this year's winner for the region of our Downtown Revitalization Initiative. Congratulations. We're proud of it. It's a joint application, two communities with a shared interest coming together to make an extremely strong application. Now, this area is known for its nationally designated historic district and for being the winner of the 2018 Kraft Hockeyville competition. We know you guys are serious about your hockey. We're in baseball town now, baseball country, but we know Clinton is and Kirkland are hockey country. We got it. But with the DRI award, their plan is to capitalize on these assets to grow its reputation as a tourist destination. And we know Hamilton College is there, so we will give them a special shout out as well. But they want to modernize their infrastructure, continue the ongoing environmental, climate, and economic initiatives that are underway, and continue to enhance programs for wellness, health, quality of life for an increasingly diverse set of residents and visitors, not just the college town. So their vision focuses on opportunities to expand their existing uses in the village center, building out of that, growing the local housing stock, and encouraging the use of underutilized parcels. So, congratulations, now the fun begins. You crossed one of the finish lines, and now we're gonna lock you in a room for the next 6 months with community members to figure out what our strategic plan of investment is gonna be. Because really, I joke about it, but in reality, this program is a plan and then act strategy. So now that you've been named, it's about developing that strategic investment plan. Very particular. This program is not about the state telling you how to spend your $10 million. This is about you identifying your priorities for that $10 million and coming up with a community-driven, community-based strategic investment plan. So what makes this model work is because it's about you, telling your story, your history, your hopes and aspirations for the future through those priorities. And what we know is that this list of projects is something that happens that is not in isolation. We're not focused on just one project or just two. It's about how those things come together in a variety of different areas to create this tapestry of economic development. So it includes economic development, zoning, infrastructure, streetscapes, housing, economic development, supporting small businesses, parks and open space, a little bit of everything to come together to create that community feel in your investments. So it's more than just $10 million. It's about an exercise in community outreach and community planning and community engagement that creates a shared vision and will foster additional public-private partnerships to bring even more investment into the transformation. So with that, congratulations again. And we'll talk about the second program we wanna recognize here, which is focusing on our New York Forward initiative. We've seen how successful DRI can be. We're completing our 6th round and moving into our next round. So we've done this a couple of times. So we recognize that over time, programs should evolve. They should adapt, they should expand, they should improve. And that's where New York Forward comes in. Governor Hochul heard loud and clear, even when she was lieutenant governor, through the first 5 rounds of DRI, that maybe there were some smaller and rural communities that we were missing. Maybe there were some that missed out on the renaissance because of staff resources, because of support. So one of her initiatives was to develop New York Forward, to make sure that no community, regardless of size or character, is left behind. And as part of the program, the Department of State provides the technical assistance to help write and prepare those communities to make their best applications so that smaller municipalities can participate in this process. And while the awards are smaller, we think they're right-sized for the communities, for what they need, and what they are looking to do in terms of revitalization. So that brings us to the second announcement. So I'm happy to announce that for our very first Mohawk Valley New York Forward Round 1 recipients, we are recognizing the village of Cooperstown, right here in Otsego County, for $4.5 million. That's why we're here, not just to check out the Baseball Hall of Fame, but we also want to recognize, because of the awards with New York Forward, we can support more communities. So we are also supporting and granting the village of Sharon Springs in Schoharie County $2.25 million, and the village of Dolgeville in Herkimer County for $2.25 million. So it's an exciting day for all of these towns and villages, but let's talk a little bit about their vision. So Cooperstown Vision seeks to build on prior downtown improvements and its existing natural tourism draw, National Hall of Fame, and of course, creating connections from Main Street to Lake Otsego, revitalizing its historic facades, enhancing the infrastructure to improve residential and commercial quality, improving walkability and accessibility, and assisting in the creation of downtown apartment-style housing. What's exciting is that we know that the heart of the town is the Main Street, but this allows us to invest in parts of the community to connect to the Main Street, to really bring it all together and bring it to the lake. So we're excited about that. The village of Sharon Springs wants to focus on Main Street and build on its recent growth in private businesses, in business investment, and public infrastructure investment. Their vision is to become a modern, business-friendly residential and tourism community for the 21st century and beyond. And to make this happen, they plan to renovate key arts and entertainment venues and other historic buildings, add public Wi-Fi, and assist the village's numerous small businesses. And finally, Dolgeville's plan focuses on the heart of downtown, the unique little village that is home to the first Mohawk Valley hydroelectric plant, plans to restore its economic, commercial, cultural, and artistic vibrancy in its historic Main Street district. The goal is to give the village a prosperous, sustainable future, and while creating a fund to assist small businesses and providing critical child care facilities, something Governor Hochul has focused on in her budget because we know you cannot have economic development if you don't have child care. So the future looks bright here in the Mohawk Valley. The Department of State looks forward to supporting a more equitable downtown recovery for all New York communities, including our smaller and rural communities, and DRI and New York Forward are the way that we do it together. So I would be remiss if I didn't thank my staff, because they are the ones who help get us to this point, and they are the ones who are going to get us to the finish line as these projects get conceived and eventually built. Let me recognize, our Deputy Secretary Keisha Santiago, Director Sarah Kroll, and Danny Lappin, who is likely going to have many of these projects in his portfolio. And of course, we couldn't do our work here if we didn't recognize our brother and sister agencies, and of course the regional representatives for the governor, the Mohawk Valley team that you all probably speak with more regularly than you do with us, which is Allison Dadmuni from Empire State Development, Dolores Caruso, our deepest condolences, and Emily Gallulo from the Department of Labor. So thank you. It's so glad to be here again. I look forward to seeing the progress in these 4 communities. Congratulations to all of you. We are so proud of the work that you did, and many of you were not first-time applicants, so congratulations to making it across the finish line. We are here with you all the way to the end. And with that, I want to thank you and introduce our DRI winners, including and beginning with our Village of Clinton Mayor, Elizabeth Pantillo.
Wow. The Village of Clinton and the Town of Kirkland are grateful for this amazing DRI grant from the great state of New York. We may be a relatively small upstate village and town, but we are big dreamers with big plans for the improvement of our already great community. An investment of this magnitude is a literal game changer for the enhancement of our rich culture and history, our physical appearance and infrastructure, and our community's quality of life. We will use this opportunity wisely and strategically for the betterment of Clinton, Kirkland, Oneida County, the Mohawk Valley, and New York State. We would not have been successful without the volunteer efforts of a team of hardworking and aspirational leaders, many of whom are here to hear this fantastic news today. Special thanks to all who participated in the development of our proposal, especially the Clinton-Kirkland Improvement Corporation, also known as CKIC, who led the process and will continue to assist Clinton Village and Town in the implementation phase. Thank you, CKIC, the Mohawk Valley Regional Economic Development Council, led by Allison Mahmoon, and co-chairs Dr. Mary Toranzo and Larry Gilroy. The Empire State Development Agency, NYSERDA, Secretary of State Robert Rodriguez, and of course, Governor Kathy Hochul. We can't wait to get started. Thank you. Let me now introduce Mayor Ellen Tilpaugh, Village of Cooperstown.
You caught me at a slight disadvantage because when Allison called, like yesterday, to say, what are you doing at 10:30 on Thursday? I sent out the invite to my board and I had my fingers crossed, but certainly didn't, know. And we are that community that since 2016, we submitted for the DRI, 17, 18, 19, none in 2021. And now we are just so thrilled that this program And I give a lot of credit to Governor Hochul for this. She really is sensitive to the needs of a small rural village that has a worldwide stage like Cooperstown. And she visited us several times and I think is aware of the infrastructure needs. Our 1,750 taxpayers have to support for this incredible tourism industry, which is the vitality of our town. So we are thrilled that we are the first recipients. We were thrilled to see this program rolled out. It is specific for villages like us. And we have lots of plans for 4.5 million. And we'll be looking forward to that community engagement to move forward based on our comprehensive plan to many of the goals which will really enter us into the next phase of our development. And I do want to, we're very small, as I say, we don't have a grant writer. We continually write grants and throw them out there. So I really want to thank Cindy Falk, who assisted. I wrote the grant and she assisted on it, and I think together we put together a very, I was going to say damn, but I won't, a damn good application. So thank you. And now I'm thrilled to introduce my compatriot, Doug Plummer of Sharon Springs. Yay!
I too am surprised by having to speak, but me and a microphone and extemporaneous speech, just settle in. Thank you, Mayor. It's an honor to be here. I too got a call yesterday on the beach in South Florida. Yes, yes. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll be there. Because we too have applied for the DRI many times, knowing that it was really not right for us, but you gotta be in it to win it. I don't think I'll play lotto anymore because I just got it. And this is a huge honor for Sharon Springs. We are a village of just about 500 people, but with a lot of history and a lot of energetic and enthusiastic people, a huge tourism base, and being, of course, close to these other marvelous communities, we all kind of work symbiotically together. And this is just going to help, well, every community in the Schoharie County. So we're honored and thrilled. It's because of the governor and her foresight to realize that the DRI is a great thing, but it really was only going to big communities, except for this year they were smart and got joined together. But we always thought Schoharie County doesn't have a city, so we were not going to get this. So seeing the New York Forward, and we weren't even going to go for this, because I've kicked that football and had Lucy pull it away from me many times. And I was not going to play it anymore until Empire State Development and Allison and Mike Reese said, no, you really need to apply for this one. So with 2 weeks, and the look of horror in my deputy mayor Denise Kelly's face when said, we have 2 weeks to talk to all the businesses in Sharon Springs. What a terrifying prospect. But we did, and my incredible community pulled together and created narratives and pulled this stuff together, and we threw this thing, and it was one of those. My clerk and my deputy clerk are here now, Margie and Linda. Thank you so much for your undying support and help. But we entered send at about 15 minutes before it had to be in, and then it bounced back. So. Yeah, so boy, shoestring. So anyway, I'd just like to thank you all for being here, for everybody who participated in this. Thank you, Assemblyman Tagg and Senator Oberacher for your support and those amazing letters you write in support, because they really do help. Dr. Terenzio, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to see you, and nice to get here and see so many smiling faces. We have a lot of work to do. But how exciting, and it's exciting to get a grant, but it's really exciting to sit back. As I was flying back yesterday thinking, how many people this is going to affect. And little tiny businesses who really try and struggle along, especially in the economy of the past few years. It's really going to be a game changer. So thank you, and I will pass it on to Mayor Posnowski. Thank you.
Wow, on behalf of the Village of Dowsville, we are humbled and honored. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. We've certainly had our share of challenges in the past 5 years. Robert Smolin, we were just talking about it before the ceremony today. And a lot of difficult times with flooding and people losing homes and issues with the creek. So many things that could really bring you down. But I had an incredible team that worked together on this. Dan Shearer from Saratoga Associates said, "You guys can do this. I think you can do this." We've got some momentum going. Christine Reynolds, Dowsville Forward, I can't say thank you enough. She worked so hard on this. We put this together again, like Doug said, a couple of weeks. Chet Zemansky was also a very integral player in this. He's our village engineer. Thank you all so much. Thank you to the governor's office, all our representatives. Again, it's such an honor and to be one of the first recipients of this award. So thank you all.
Well, just to close us out, I just wanted to again congratulate all of the winners. We're going to literally present you with your checks. Now, I like to joke, these are non-cashable at this point, because you still have to come up with your list of projects. So I look forward to reconvening with all of you in about 6 months, where we get to unveil the work of this group, the work of the communities, the work of each and every one of you in terms of identifying your strategic investment plan and your priorities. So the fun will continue, but to all of you, thank you, and to all of our winners, congratulations. Your hard work has paid off. We will look forward to cutting ribbons in the near future. Thank you. So first up, we'll recognize our DRI winners, the town of Kirkland and the village of Clinton. And I invite you to please bring your staffs up as well, because we know that they've done a good amount of work too.
Front here. Patty.
We don't leave you guys in.
So next is the village of Cooperstown. Now the village of Sharon Springs.
Hang on.
Colarusso, Colarusso. Like Coca-Cola and Russo together. Town of Kirkland. Beautiful, thank you.
And last but not least, the Village of Dolgeville.
His name is Gary Colarusso.
Excellent.
One last
Great.
name back.
And one final remarks from the Deputy Town Supervisor of Kirkland, Gary Colarusso.
Good afternoon. I'd like to be able to say they saved the best to last, but I don't think so. I want to put thanks where thanks belong, and there's a group of people that are here today that really rolled up their sleeves, and a lot of sweat equity went into this. This is year after year after year that basically this same group of people put their heads together and their hearts together and managed to turn this out for us, and that's the folks that are with us here today, Patty, Louise, and everybody else that's here. Thank you so much. This is the outcome of their hard work. I'd like to thank the mayor for holding on to that $10 million check for us. She's done a wonderful job. Thank you. Okay, thank you. And again, this is a work of two communities, a village and a town getting together to formulate this end result, and it's really humbling to be here and knowing that it was a success. So to everyone, to all the communities, and to yourself, sir, and New York State, thank you very much.
Where else?
Well, enjoy all of that Cooperstown has to offer for the rest of this afternoon. Thank you. And thank you for hosting us to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I'm going to hold you that for that, the Mohawk